to the Spooky Chris podcast. This is episode, I don't know what episode it is. It's episode 20-something. It's been a minute since I've done this, so I have lost count officially. But it's episode 20-something, which is, I guess, good enough for me and good enough for everybody. So, hello. Since it is just before Halloween, I figured I'd do my little kind of love song, love letter to Halloween, which is a holiday. It's hands down my favorite holiday. I'm a big holiday person in general. I love Christmas, and I kind of grew up with Christmas traditions and Easter and all of the kind of the big family holidays, kind of secularized. We celebrated all of them, and that kind of instilled in me a love for them. And my love for Halloween is one of the many gifts kind of from my mother. She really went all out for us, and my family went all out like they were for a while. They were the family down the street that gave out the full-size candy bars, which was pretty great. One of the years she made me a skeleton costume. Took old jeans and an old long sleeve shirt, and she made skeleton bones out of material. Cut them out and sewed them on, and I did makeup on my face, and I went under the skeleton, and it was pretty great. It's one of my favorite costumes. And I just, I fell in love with it through her. And then, if you love horror movies, it's kind of your holiday season, your season. And I'm sure, just as God loves little green apples, as they say, I'm sure that there's lots of horror fans out there that don't like Halloween, that just hate it for whatever reason. But I love it. I absolutely love the holiday and everything about it. It's fun because Halloween and Christmas, I always try to write at least a story to go with the season, and to really kind of celebrate the season and celebrate everything around it. And I love that. I love being able to do that. I just think it's super duper fun. And the other podcast I do with my friends, the Ghoulcast, every year we write Halloween stories since we started it, and we read them out on the show, and it's fun. It's a fun tradition, and I just love writing. Because Halloween, there's so many sides to look at it from. It's been a bummer of late. It's weird, my generation. It's weird that the boomers aren't the ones that are really killing Halloween. It's my generation, and it's this indifference and kind of forgetting your youth, because a lot of them don't have kids, so since they don't have kids, they don't care. But a lot of them also don't want to be bothered by it, and but it's tradition. It's a bigger tradition than us. That's what separates it kind of from Christmas, is that there really is no anymore. It has become a secularized holiday. All of these holidays had some kind of religious trappings, but we're in an era where you can celebrate them for your own reasons, which is good, because you can have your own traditions that are still tied to it, and you can still have the original intent and the original kind of love. You can still celebrate Christ for Christmas, or you can celebrate it as a time with friends and family. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, because I don't think celebrating friends and family and enjoying the spirit and everything, celebrating I don't think that flies in the face of the teachings of Christ. Call me crazy. Just like I don't think not treating this as a holy time to celebrate a survival of the year and the harvest and a new year. I don't think kind of turning it into a way to thumb your nose at death and the things that scare us flies in the face of that. That's kind of, holidays change, with the culture. So as culture changes, as times change, the holidays change. That's how it works. That's just always how it works. And we get mad about it, and we should keep some traditional aspects. That's also part of it. Is remembrance and reverence, but you also have to be open to and willing to evolve and evolve it. And it's weird when people won't. And it's weird that there is and it's funny because so many Christians go on about how there's a war on Christmas, and it's like, but there really isn't. There's an embracing of Christmas and an embracing of that time, because there are so many holidays in that time. And it's kind of like, look, I'm cool with you celebrating Christmas, but there's also guy next door celebrates, Jewish holidays. Someone celebrates Muslim holidays. Wiccans celebrate different. There's so many holidays right jam-packed there. It is better and easier to say happy holidays. It's not lessening the impact of Christmas. It's embracing that there are other things than Christmas. And it makes me laugh, when you're seeing a lot of churches and these community organizations doing trunk or treats, and it's like, but it's still Halloween. You're taking out the community aspect and you're putting it in parking lots, and it's like, that's one of those things why we're so kind of fractured, is because, and it's not that we don't want to hear each other's opinions, it's that we don't want to think of other people in our opinions. We want to say, I hate person X. How dare they be themselves? But if we met person X, if we dealt with person X, if we had person X in our lives, person X stops being a label, becomes a person. And that's what community is. That's what living is. That's what holidays like Halloween do, is they put you out in the neighborhood and they get you talking to one another. Once the parents, and I have a lot to say. Once the parents stopped, when they kind of tapped out of it, when they're like, I don't want to be bothered, I'm just going to send the kids out, or I'll send the kids with somebody else, and blah, blah, you start being a part of the community. And some parents can't make it out. Awesome. It works. But that's part, either giving or going. That's part of community. And it doesn't even have to be super luxurious, if you can't, and I get it, people can't always afford that stuff, the candy and stuff. And I get it, but I think there's still ways to participate. Not participating at all is just saying my doors are closed. See, where I live, our neighborhood gets a ton of kids from a neighbor, a neighboring neighborhood where it's kids that it's from a different social structure, from a different economic structure, and they'll kind of come over here. I did that as a kid. We'd hit our neighborhood, and then we hit another neighborhood. That's what kids do. You want as much candy as you can get, and there's nothing wrong. It's it is. We can say begging, and we can make it, spin it as bad as we want, but it is a piece of candy. It's a kid coming up, probably in a costume, hopefully being polite, getting a piece of candy from you. It is not that big a deal. It is super duper not that big a deal. We make it into a big deal. We make it as if we're being, we turn it into a political thing where it's these people, and they're coming and they're begging and they're getting things from me and I work hard. We've turned it into something political when it didn't need to be. We've turned everything that way. But if we dealt with each other and kind of, looked each other in the eye and kind of oh, wow, yeah, I don't agree with you politically, but you're still a person. I still like you as a person. Maybe we can find a common ground. And it gets easier than shouting at each other online. And, there's some subjects that there's just no meeting in the middle. And there's some people there's just no, there's no point in trying to find a middle ground because they're just not they just don't see the world the same way you do. But that's one of the magic things about Halloween, is that this shared kind of thing is we're all afraid of death. We're all afraid of dying. And yet we all have, it's coming for us all. And Halloween lets us kind of face it, embrace it, look at it, kind of thumb our nose at it, and I'm ready for you, come and get me. Or to say, I'm still afraid of you, but, maybe I can own that it's coming and find more joy in the life I have. And you know what? It's a fun time to cut loose. Like, we don't do that enough. We act as if being an adult is about paying bills and having cars and having jobs, and there's no joy to it. Like, there should always be joy. There should always be fun. There should always be, like, revelry. There should be friendship. There should be the sharing of our lives with people. And Halloween does that as well. And again, you get it with the Christmas holidays and the end of the year holidays, which is good. Like, the year can be very hard and very long. And being able to dress up, be something we're not, to portray something that we're not, like, because it's funny, like, a lot of the women that wear the quote-unquote slutty costumes aren't women that would dress that way. Like, it's an exaggeration of something that they don't feel a lot of times. Or sometimes you want to dress like a monster because it's just fun to scare people. Like, it's about being someone you're not. That's the fun. Like, it's being someone else. We don't get to be someone else. It's being someone else in a safe way that doesn't, deeply trick someone, doesn't harm anyone. And it lets adults be kids for a night. No big deal. It lets kids go out and explore the neighborhood, explore the world at night, which they're not supposed to be out at night. It forces parents, and I say force because they don't want to do it, out into the neighborhoods and, like, meeting people and, like, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. Like, nice to meet you. Like, it's not a bad thing to meet strangers and strange people, and to, like, they're being polite to your kid or you being polite to their kid bonds you. Because it's a shared, like, yeah, man, it's reminding you that you did this. It's a ritual. You did this. You went out and you tricked or treated. You, did silly pranks. You did tricks. I remember there was one lady, a teacher, and it's great in retrospect. It's like, as a kid, when you're like, oh, she always made you do a trick. Like, and it was like, it's like, oh, if you want a treat, you got to do a trick. So we'd have to sing a song or do something, and it was never super elaborate, but it was just like the effort, and that's pretty cool. Like, I like that. I like playing out that game, and I think that's great, and I think we need more of that. And it's a shame that we have decided that Halloween it's a religious holiday, and we can't celebrate it in schools, and we're not going to celebrate it, and we're going to cut down the hours people go out, and we're going to have trunk or treats. It's like, you keep trying to pen it, but Halloween can't. Like, it's wild. Like, that's what it is. It's the wild part of us. And, like, the trunk or treats make me laugh because, again, like, you're still celebrating Halloween. Like, you can change it all you want. You can, we're going to have them dressed up as biblical characters, and then, like, they're heroes. That's great. That's still Halloween. Like, Halloween doesn't have to be dressing up like a monster or an evil thing or something scary or bloody or whatever. It's dressing up as someone else. Trunk or treat is still someone you're going. Do you say trunk or treat? No, you probably say trick or treat. And you're getting a treat. Even if it's a healthy treat, it's still a treat. There's, again, nothing that says it has to be a sweet treat. A treat's a treat. But it's fun, man. Like, the decorating, the parties with friends, seeing the kids in the costumes. Me and my wife love this stuff because it does remind us of being kids. It reminds us that we're part of a community. All of these people, they're strangers until they're on your doorstep, and they're like, trick or treat, and it's this little kid, and they have their parents or their brother or someone with them. Like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good, like trading politeness and kindnesses. And you don't have a deep connection, but it's nice to know, like, hey, like, they're cool with me, I'm cool with them, everybody's cool with each other. Like, that's nice to see. Especially in a city like Flint, where everyone likes to pretend that we're the most dangerous place in the world, and murders and theft everywhere, and it's just so scary. And it's like, yeah, we're a city. We have bad parts, we have good parts. We also have a lot of awesome people who are struggling to make lives here and make awesome lives, and to kind of be, friends and stuff, and find happiness, raise kids. Like, we forget all that. And we don't carol anymore. So, caroling with Christmas would take us door to door, and sharing songs, sharing that feeling. We don't do that anymore. So again, it comes back to Halloween. That gets us in the neighborhood, gets us outside, gets us out in the world. Shares our families, our lives, our creativity, our weirdness. And then there's the movies and the music. And I love all of it. I love the sound effects, albums. Just slay me. Because they're just 99% of them are just the corniest, cheesiest things, but they're just fun. They're absolutely fun. And it's neat to kind of enjoy those, and to kind of just dig in and ooh, ah, all these scary sounds and screaming and moaning and wind and cats and it's just fun. It's fun. It puts you in the mood. And then the scary stories. Some friends and I are trying to get together. Well, we have an event planned for later in the year where we're going to tell ghost stories, because that was a big tradition back in the day around the Christmas holidays and the end of the year. It's kind of like ghost stories, because again, it gathered people together around a fire, you all kind of shared this, and this connection, this bond, this kind of event. And we don't do enough with that anymore. We're so disconnected, and we do everything we can to keep disconnected. And then we rail at a world that doesn't reflect us and doesn't reflect humanity. A world where you have to have fundraising dinners for families that are trying to survive cancer is insane to me. But, there's love. Halloween's always going to be my favorite holiday, and I hope you, dear listener, find time to watch some movies, listen to some scary stories, trick or treat, take someone out trick or treating, and enjoy one of the most unique times of year, and make it a celebration. I love this time of year so much, and I hope you find something in it to love too. Happy Halloween, and I will talk to you soon. If you want to know more information about me, or read any of my stories, or buy any of my books, I'm a writer. SpookyChris.com. You can get to all of it. I have lots of books out for giving you a chill, which is the perfect time for that. Take care. Bye.